Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenette and today I'll be sharing with you how I made this A-line dress with side lace up. I made use of 2 yards of fabric. This fabric has both a duchess and a crepe feel because the front looks like a duchess while the back looks very much and feels like a crepe. So I actually don't know which one it is, but I actually got it from the Duchess lane in the market. So if this is something you would like to learn, without further ado, let's get started. So in order to cut both your front and back piece together, you first off fold your fabric into two, then fold it over again into two. That's basically we're folding it into four, putting into consideration our zipper allowance. So the zipper allowance I'm marking is 1.5 inches and I'm going to mark that all the way down. So I'm using my ruler to make the 1.5 marks visible and straight. So now I'm ruling my start point. That is where all my measurements are going to start from. The next thing we're going to be marking is our neckline. The neck width is going to be 3.5 inches for a smaller size. A bigger size will make use of 4 inches neck width. Then the neck depth for the back is going to be 1 inch and the neck depth for the front is going to be 4 inches. So I'm going to connect the back neckline up to the zipper allowance and the front neckline, just stopping at this folded edge. To mark is half of my shoulder, which is 7.5, and I'm going to add half an inch to it. So from this point I'm coming down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. Then I'm connecting this line to this start point of our neckline. The next thing I'm going to mark is my armhole depth, which is 7.5. So to get your armhole depth, it's your bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. So I'm just ruling this line out. So this now is going to be regarded as my chest line. So I'm going to make the line straight all the way down. Here I'm just trying to verify that my line is straight, that I have 8 inches up and down. So the line isn't so straight, so I'm straightening my line. So now that I've gotten this, I am going to mark my armhole curve. So I'm marking half of 7.5, which is going to give me 3.75, and I'm coming in by half an inch, and I'm using my curve to connect these lines this way. I'm going to mark my waist length, which is 16, and hip length is 24. Then the full length of my dress is 36. So I'm marking 36, and I'm adding 1 inch for hemming allowance. So I'm just squaring all these lines out. Sorry, I didn't know that my camera didn't show the lower part of the dress, but I basically just squared out the 36 inches length, then added 1 inch for the hemming allowance. So after this, we're going to be marking our bust point. So from this start line, we're going to be marking our bust point, which is your nipple point. So mine is 10. So from this point, I am ruling this line this way. So from your bust point, you're going to come down by 1 inch. That 1 inch is for ease around the bust area, because if you start marking your bust span from that 10 inches point, that's your bust point, it's going to be really tight and you'll not like the fit. So you come down by 1 inch, and then from that 1 inch is where you're going to mark your bust span. My bust span is 7.5. Half of it is going to give me 3.75. Then I'm adding half an inch to it, which is going to give me 4.25. So you can as well add either 1 inch or 1.5. It all depends on where you want your lacing to be. If you want your lacing close to your side seam, you can make use of 1 inch or 1.5. That's adding it to your bust span measurement. But for me, I am just adding half an inch, and I'm marking that 4.25 all the way down to 2 inches below my waistline. So this here now, it's going to be where our loops are going to sit. So the next thing we're going to do is to mark our horizontal measurements. So quarter of my bust measurement is 9, and I'm going to mark that out now. And I'm adding 2 inches to it. On the waistline, I'm going to mark quarter of my waist measurement, which is 7.25. Then I'm going to add back this 1 inch, which I'm going to sew for the darts here, right? Plus an extra 2 inches for our sewing allowance. That is for our ease and sewing allowance. The same 2 inches I added here, I'm adding it here. So the next thing for the hip measurement, which is 9.75, then I'm adding 3 inches for ease, because it's not a tapered dress. 3 inches for ease. Then for the hemline, it is an A-line dress. I'm going to take the measurement of what I have here, being 13. Then I'm marking that here this way. Then I'm adding an extra 1.5 inches since it's an A-line dress. In fact, I'm just going to extend this line this way. So I'm just going to rule my lines out. So lastly, I'm going to add half an inch here for my stitching allowance. Afterwards, I'm going to cut. The next thing I'm going to cut is around this part. Cutting my neckline. So first, you're going to cut both together, that is the front and the back, at this 1 inch point this way. Then for the front, you're only going to be cutting this folded part. This side has to be down. So this is my front. So I'm just going to pin this down back. The next thing we're going to do now is to slit this place open for us to be able to put in our loops. So I'm going to pin this so that it doesn't move, and pin this side as well. This is just to secure it from moving. So now I'm going to slash this place open from this point to this point with my scissors. I'm folding it this way, and I'm making a cut this way, and so I've stopped at this point, and I'm doing same, and I'm stopping at this point. So guys, this is how it is. We're just going to remove these pins out. And spread it open. So this is the front. Now we are going to be marking the length of the darts.
that slit we made in between.
Marking the distance from here to this point, and what I have is 7. So it all depends on what you want to use. You can use 1 inch as your spacing, but I'm going to be making use of 1.5. So I'm going to be marking 1.5. So I'm using 1.5 for my spacing. So I'm going to mark same for the other side. So this is my front. I'll keep my front aside. And I'll mark same for my back.
Please take notes of the markings. I had 5 markings in front, so make sure there are 5 too at the back.
Guys, I've cut strips of fabric which measures 2 inches in width. Then in length you can cut as long as you want. So I've cut, and I'm going to be folding this inside out for our strap. I've folded my strips, like I've turned them inside out. So next thing I will do is to cut this into my loops. I'm going to cut 3 inches. These are my loops. So I'm just going to take my front piece first. So this is my front piece. So I'm going to put these loops into this hole. So first I will fold it this way, right? And I'm going to fold this way. Using these marks, I'm fixing them with my pins inside. So I'm securing them with my pins. So I'll take another one, fold it into 2 this way, this side, and I put it inside, placing it on this mark which I have here, and I pin. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it for both fronts. So guys, this is one side, so I will do same. So this is how it's looking from the inside. I'll do same for this other side. So I'm flipping it over, making use of my chalk markings so that it's easy for me. So I'm turning it this way. So this is how it is. I'm just going to go ahead to stitch this way, 1/2 inch, like you're more or less like sewing a curve this way. So I'm stitching it this way. So you're sewing like this, 1/2 inch. I'll do same for this side and the back as well. As I have joined I've fixed my loop. This is the front, and I've ironed it out. This is the front. So for the back, the very first one, I have not cut it out because I want you to see what I want to explain something. So this very first one, it's advisable to put it in properly so that it can be more snatched. It can have a more snatched effect, because as you can see, the sewing is coming this way. It's not just straight. So you push this one inside before you curl. Same as this one, you push it inside. That's why it has this extra here, because I had to push this inside to give us a smaller loop. So now that I've gotten this, the next thing I'm going to do is to place my back, that's right side facing right side, this way. Line it to the shoulder point this way. I'll do same for the other side. So I'm going to reach this down and stitch this down. So guys, I've joined my shoulder. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to join my sides. I'm going to be sewing it with half an inch on both sides.
I have stitched my side. What's left is the back, that is the zipper allowance area. So at first I measured my zipper to be 18 inches, but after I had fixed the zip, the back wasn't looking straight and it was having a bulge at the back. So I had to reduce the zipper to 16 inches, which is my waistline. So basically, you need to stop your zipper at your waistline.
I've sewed the zipper part of my dress, but I do not have the exact color of zip, so I'll be fixing the zipper later. Now we're going to be cutting our sleeves. So what I'm going to do now is I'm folding this into two, and the sleeve I'm working with is going to be 26 inches. The capped height I'm going to be using is 5 inches, so I'm just going to mark 5 inches straight this way. My round sleeve is 14 divided by 2 is 7, so I'm adding 1.5 inches for ease to it, so that's going to give me 8.5. So I'm just going to make this mark this way and I'm drawing it this way. So this is how our sleeve is going to look. So I'm just going to cut 2 pieces for we're going to be folding this and we'll be inserting our elastic to it this way. These are my sleeves and I've already made a casing for it. As you can see, I sewed it round and I have this casing here and my elastic band. So this is the 1/2 inch elastic band, and to get the measurement that it's going to go around, you just have to measure round your wrist loosely. And what I have here around my wrist is 7 inches. That's the length of the elastic I'm going to cut. So 7 inches, and I'm cutting 2. So guys, I've cut my elastic, my 2 elastics. The next is to insert my elastic using my safety pin. So I'm just going to pass it in this way. So to avoid the elastic from going in, if you do not have a second safety pin, you can just pin this down to hold it in place while you turn it, insert it around. So now I've gotten to where I came out from, and this is it. So I'm removing the pin from here and I'm going to stitch this place together. So I'm just securing this with a pin before I stitch so that I can do the second sleeve. The last thing we're going to do now is to fix our sleeves. So for my sleeves, I have already put my elastic and sewn it down.
So I'm just going to pin down my sleeves around the armhole of my dress to secure it before I stitch.
So guys, I have fixed my sleeve. What's the pipe, the neckline? I do not have the exact shade of bias, neither do I have the exact shade of zip, so I'm just going to leave that first. Then lastly, what we will do is to insert our strips. So I've sewn my strip inside out, so I'm going to insert it with the help of safety pin. So I'm just pinning it at this side on the 2 edges. So I have it on both edges. I'm just going to pass it this way. So I just lacing it up. I'm passing the other one to the back of the dress, and I'm just going to do a crisscross. So this is how it is. I'll just go ahead to pipe the neckline and show you how it looks.
So guys, this is the final look. Thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in my next video.